Hello everybody and welcome to my video on featuring the key of E major. E major has the spelling of E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, and E. And on the guitar, the E key is considered one of the main keys. A lot of that is because the low note and the high note E are open strings, and so having that low E is beneficial to playing in the key of E, and we get several open chords as a result. So let's take a look at the key of E in the circle of fifths. When we look at the circle of fifths, if we have a key that is going to be our 1 in scale degrees, our 4 is always here, and our 5 is always here. And if you have the inner circle, which is the circle that has the relative minor, so the reason this is C sharp right here is because the key of C sharp minor has the same notes. It has the same key signature. If we look at E, E has F sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and D sharp. And the key signature of E has F sharp, which is the top one, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp. So that's our 1. Our 4 chord is counterclockwise a fourth, and circle fifths, of course, the B would be the fifth. And then the 6th chord, which is the relative minor, would be the F sharp. Or excuse me, when the key of E. 6th chord would be the C sharp. The 2 would be the F sharp, and the 3 would be the G sharp. And then actually the 7th chord, which is diminished, would be this D sharp right here. So anytime we're in you can find all your chords in the circle of fifths if you have the inner circle with the relative minor by going 1, 4, 5, 2, 6, and 3, and then 7 would be right here. So everything's within a tight little spot right there. So coming back to E right here, let's start to put together some of the notes. Like I mentioned, one of the most obvious signs of E is the open strings. And so if we have E here, our 12th fret also comes into play as E chords. And while we're at it, we might as well just build all the octave patterns right here. We have our E, and then we have our E right here, which is, this is the D octave. Why D? Because it's on the D string. The C octave, because it forms the C chord. It's on the A string, but it's on the A string forming the C, and then the A octave, and then the A octave connects to the G string octave, the G, which is on the G string, and then if we were to be in this position, let's say we're to capo that and play the G chord underneath here, we would have that. So from there, we can build our fifths. Perfect fifth is off the E string is here. And so then we're going to build our A octave. And then from here, this would be our G octave, whatever over here from the G, this is where we build our E octave, and then this is where we build our D octave, which is right here. And then we have all the fifths right here. So let's now go, let's look at the E major scale on a single string, F sharp, G sharp, 3 to 4, E, F sharp, G sharp, A, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the half step. There's our 5, 6, 7, and of course, if we're here, we're also here. One fifth that wasn't created was the C octave with the B right there. So when we're here on the B string and we have the E string already established, it's important to note that the fifth is always right behind you here. So E to B is a fifth, the E to B is a fifth behind you. So whatever this string is, we're going to have a prevalence of fifths on the same fret right behind here because most of the intervals in a major key have fifths. So F sharp, there's C sharp, then G sharp, and there's our D sharp, there's our A and E, there's our B and our F sharp, our C sharp and our G sharp. The only one that doesn't have a fifth is a seventh because the seventh is diminished. So that has a diminished fifth. If it were a perfect fifth, it would be A sharp right there. So in finishing this up here, we could take a look at A, which is right next to E. And A is the fourth, and the fourth is a Lydian mode. Lydian mode is the same exact thing as major except for the sharped fourth. So we're going to have most of being right next, going this direction is a fourth. So C sharp, then we have A has an augmented fourth. Notice the A to D sharp to A, those are inverses of each other. A to D sharp is an augmented fourth, D sharp to A is diminished fifth, E, F sharp, G sharp, and back to A. And then now that we're here, we can just build octaves. Put my D sharp back there. F sharp, octave, G sharp, octave, A, octave, B is already there from another thing, C sharp, oops, that's not a C sharp, that's the F sharp, C sharp, and then from here we're on the G string, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, and ta-da, we have the key of A or E. And then so whatever's here, we want to make this right here. Now we have it over the full 15 frets, and there's nothing on the third fret with E, so we have that wide open right there. So in the key of E, um, the one thing about the key of E that is not convenient, even though it's open, is that it doesn't have its main chords. Um, well, I'm just going to copy this here. We've got, get rid of these. We've got open chords on E and A, but the B chord is not open, and so it's kind of like one of those, that's the 5 chord. There is an open B7 chord that is commonly played, so the 5 as a 7 is a common chord. B, D sharp, A, B. So you got your B7, but the closest B chord that can be played in full would be the A as a bar chord. Like so. So that makes it, a little inconvenient playing in E as, in the E form, because we have our 1 chord and our 4 chord, but our 5 chord is not available unless it's a bar chord. Like I said, it's not a problem, but for starters or beginners, it might be. Additionally, the 3 minor chords, the F sharp, G sharp, and C sharp, are all going to be bar chords. We have our F sharp. Oops, I want to copy that. And then, oops, F sharp, and then G sharp would be like this chord just down here, and then the C sharp minor is like an A minor moved up the neck. So if you're going to be playing in the key of E, it is advised to use to learn your bar chords first, so that you have them available to you. With that being said, understanding the key of E based on some E string concepts, like the pentatonics and the bar or the power chords based off the E string. It's very convenient because we have our root as the low open string, and then we can learn them this way up the neck. So there's always going to be some, every key is different in where the things that we do in other keys are stuff that we talk about in the caged system. So take your blank chord or guitar neck diagrams, write out the key of E all over the neck and how you can, and find your positions that are convenient for you. Hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think. Have a good day.